Hi, today we're going to make a card using these stamps from Stampin' Up! It's Hostess Level 1 set, Because I Care. So let's get started. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to ink up this large image in Crumb Cake, which is a craft ink. So I'm going to ink that up. And before I stamp it, I'm going to add some color with my markers. So I'm going to turn it face up. I'm going to take this is Concord Crush, which is a dark purple, and I'm just going to brush randomly on this image. And then I'm going to do the same with Old Olive down on the leaves portion here. So this will give me a two-tone effect with that crumb cake showing through. I'm going to huff on it just to re-moisten it. And I'm going to stamp off the card a little bit. And you can see with that simple technique, I got a two-tone image and it looks very vintage antique. So that's what I was going for. Very simple, easy to do. So to continue with the card, I want to make this as my focal point and I want to make it look like a tag. So use my new tool I got, which is this We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper, which will round the corners at 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch. I put my cardstock in it and then I just punch and it rounded my corner for me. So I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. Okay. And now to make this more of a tag, I'm going to put a hole on top, but I actually want to layer. So I have some craft cardstock. I'm going to punch it out with a little 1/2 inch circle there. I'm going to use some adhesive and stick that on somewhat in the middle. And then I'm going to use my crocodile, and it has a hole punchers here and here for a 3/16 hole and a 1/8 inch hole. So 3/16 is larger than 1/8, so I'm going to use the 3/16 hole, and it will punch through these 2 layers of cardstock very easily. That's the benefit of this. And just like that, I have a hole, and it looks like a little tag. So I'm going to stamp a little bit more. I want to stamp my sentiment here, so I'm going to use my markers again, and I'm going to do the dark purple in the word because, and the Old Olive, I'll do the I Care. And so I have that there. And I'm just going to add some sponging around the edges. So I'm just going to use my sponge dauber and the same craft ink. And I'm just going to dab along the edges. Okay. So that's my main image here. Now I just ran this green I think it's Kiwi Kiss cardstock through my Big Shot using this texture plate, which I believe is an exclusive design from Stampin' Up! So if you like this one, you can order it through me on my blog, through my Stampin' Up! Website. So it gave me this nice texture, and so again, to add a little more texture, I'm going to tear along the edges all the way around it. Okay, so there's my torn image. Let me just make sure it fits on my cardstock the way I want it to. And let's see, this is going to go on top, sort of at an angle like that. So I kind of like that. Now I think I'm just going to work on my card base a little bit. I'm going to use my same corner chomper, 1/2 inch again, and I'm going to round these 2 corners of my card. And then I'm also going to add some more sponging on it just because it's white. I want it to blend in with the vintage look of the rest of the card. Glue that down. I wanted to add a border down here, so I'm going to use some of this chocolate chip cardstock and this scallop border punch, or I think this is called the ribbon border punch from Stampin' Up. So I'm going to punch this out. Okay, and I'm not going to use the whole image. And so I get this nice punch, but it's, I think for what I wanted to do, I only want to use half of it. So I'm just going to cut with my paper snips this design. I'm going to just cut in the middle. Just freehand it. I tried doing this in my paper trimmer and it doesn't work. It's too small. And then I'm just going to trim the edges. And so now you can see I got a different punch just by cutting it in half. So I was just going to kind of add this on here somehow. So let me just see again how. I think I'm going to do it on top, kind of like that. And then let me add my ribbon here. I have some chocolate chip folded in half, and then your folded portion stick through the hole and try to get it, feed it through. So now I have a loop, and then feed your ends of your ribbon through it, and then you can pull through. So yeah, I like that look better. So there, I'll do that instead. So let me trim my ribbon here. Okay, so now let me adhere this down. I'm going to use dimensionals. I'm going to stick this on, sort of at an angle is what I wanted. Okay. And then I'm going to put a glue dot behind that to hold my ribbon down. So I'm just going to roll it up with my finger and then stick it where I want them to stick. So, okay. And I'm going to add these last accents here using my multi-glue here on this small piece. I'm just going to lay that on top. And there's our card. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you were inspired to try out that stamping technique, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for your subscriptions. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.